my name's Lizzie, and today we are learning about autism with My Friend Has Autism. This is a local library book. If you have anybody in your life that has any kind of disorder or something that you just want to know about, you can always go to the library and find a book about it. But let's go in, find out about My Friend Has Autism. My name is Nick. This is my friend Zach. Zach and I belong to a model airplane club. Zach has autism. I like model airplanes. That's pretty cool. Do you guys like model airplanes? Airplanes are awesome. Zach likes building bi-wing planes. I think that means something. Is it because of the poles are there or because there's two wings? What do you think, kids? I don't know anything about planes. I bet you Zach would know how to answer that. Fighter jets are my favorite. I like fighter jets too. I don't know much about these. Did you know autism is a brain-based disorder? With autism, parts of the brain don't grow the way they should. No one knows why some kids have autism. There is no cure yet. So, it just means his brain moves a little different than your brain. That's all autism is. Zach knows a lot about airplanes. His nickname is Pilot. I've learned more about planes from Zach than from anybody else. Zach, he likes, a part of autism, they like to find out everything about their favorite thing. They will read every book about it. They will watch every show. They want to know everything. I think that is awesome. They're like little walking encyclopedias. Sometimes Zach goes on and on about airplanes. He repeats the same facts over and over. It can seem like he's in his own world. Did you know kids with autism have trouble communicating? They may not talk much at all. They may talk only about their interests, even when other people don't share those interests. I think he just likes airplanes. But part of autism is liking to talk about things, and sometimes they repeat themselves. I don't think it's a bad thing. Maybe hearing the facts more than once will help you learn too. How can you forget something you've heard twice or 3 times, right, kids? Don't think of it as annoying. Think of it as he's teaching you. When Zach is focused on his models, he may not talk to me at all. We work on our own planes quietly, or I'll tell him about my day. I feel like I can tell Zach anything. Did you know many kids with autism are able to focus very tightly on an interest? So, part of autism is they can just sometimes get caught up in what they're doing and forget that you're sitting there, or forget other things are going on because he's so focused on what he is doing. But he can also hear you. That's why he just tells him about his day. That's just part of autism. Sometimes they get quiet. Sometimes they talk and repeat themselves. Just go with it. That's what I find works best. If they feel like being quiet and just working on their plane, you can be quiet and work on your plane. Or you can just keep talking. They'll listen. They can focus and listen at the same time, but maybe he can't focus and talk. So he'd rather just listen to you. But you really can talk to people with autism about anything. They have a great understanding because their brain moves differently than yours. They have a lot more challenges, so they're more sympathetic. Zach and I play video games while we wait for the glue to dry. He's tough to beat. Sometimes I think he lets me win. Yes, they're very good at many things. They're very detail-oriented. They like to compete. They like to have fun. They like to be the best at things, just like everybody else. Zach hears things most people don't notice. Loud noises can hurt his ears. On our field trip to the airport, he wore the coolest earmuffs ever. He looked like he worked there. Did you know many kids with autism may hear sounds or smell odors that other people don't notice? Hey, that would make an excellent firefighter. Might be able to smell fire before anybody else, or notice something burning when other people wouldn't. They'd be very good at detail-oriented jobs. I only see bonuses here, kids. But yes, sound and sensory overload can make autism difficult for them. So sometimes you just have to wear some earmuffs. You know what? When you all go to the airport, we should all be protecting our ears. They're just being more smart. I think it's special that your ears work better and your eyes work better than everybody else. I wrestle with some of my other friends, but not with Zach. He feels things differently than most people. Zach doesn't like anybody touching him, not even to pin on his new wings, and that's okay. There are lots of things I don't like too. Yeah, they're not very big on hugs and touching. They're not very affectionate all the time. It's okay. Doesn't mean he's not your friend or that they don't love you. They just show their love in different ways, like letting you win on the video game. When I go to Zach's house, I bring my own models. It bothers Zach when other people touch or play with his models. Each plane has to be in just the right spot. Did you know kids with autism often spend a lot of time arranging toys or objects? It can upset them when someone moves their things. So they just like things in their particular order. They take a lot of time cleaning and getting their shelf all nice. They just want you to look. What's wrong with that? At least he knows to bring his own models. So just bring your own toys. You can all play together. Zach may not look at me while I'm talking to him. Sometimes he walks away. I know Zach doesn't mean to hurt my feelings. I just show him my new magazine some other time. Did you know many kids with autism can seem impolite? They don't understand that it's rude to walk away from someone who is talking to them. Remember how I said their brain's wired a little differently? He's still listening to you. He's still engaged in the conversation, but he doesn't know that you're supposed to, what is normal? I'm not normal. But the regular way in school you're taught things is to look at each other. But his brain is wired differently than yours. So he can do all these things and still be interacting with you because he doesn't like to stand still. Eye contact makes him uncomfortable. Some people just don't like looking people in the eye. Doesn't mean he's not listening. Everybody does things differently, whether they have autism or not. You should try to understand the person before assuming that they're being mean or rude. I'm really glad I met Zach. Of all my friends, Zach is the only one who likes model airplanes. It makes me feel good to be his friend. What is autism? Autism is a brain-based disorder. Doctors don't know what causes autism, and there is no cure. Kids with autism have trouble making sense of the world around them. They don't make connections with words and feelings like most people do. Kids with autism have trouble talking with others, which makes it hard to make friends. They often spend their time alone and seem to be in their own world. Therapy can help kids with autism communicate with others and live better lives. So let's talk about the glossary. What are the words we learned today? We have arranging. That means putting things in order, like putting all your toys neatly on the shelf. That would be arranging your toys. Communicating, sharing thoughts, feelings, or information. Talking is another way of communicating. Disorder, a kind of illness that affects the mind or body, like autism, is a disorder because it makes the brain function differently than someone else's brain, but they don't really know yet why that happens. And I have a feeling by the time you're my age, you're going to understand autism a lot better than we do. But there's lots of work that doctors have to do to understand why autistic people do what they do. So the best thing for anyone to do is just to go with the flow with each person who is autistic in your life, because not every autistic person acts like how people would describe someone with autism. Like, you might have a friend in your school that has autism who can hug and be social and talk to you and may not struggle to communicate or walk away while you're talking. Whereas you might have somebody in your school that just won't talk at all. Maybe they are somebody who is called a mute. They just don't speak at all to anybody. Every autistic kid will be different, and you have to give them room. And remember that their brain does not function the way yours does. And as people, we have a lot to learn about it. So maybe you could help by learning about the person in your life who has autism and understand why they do what they do and help them be accepted into the world and loved for who they are. And it's okay to be different, because that's how we grow and become better people. Impolite, it means not having good manners. It means rude. Therapy, treatment for an injury or physical or mental problem. That's like a doctor's office for your mind. Upset, to bother or anger someone. You make me upset. Could be you make me sad, you make me angry, you make me frustrated. You are upsetting me. You are making my emotions go crazy, in other words. So I hope you learned a lot about autism. I hope you accept the people in your life with autism and don't treat them any differently, even when they act different. I think it's cool that they're different. I think they're superheroes. How do they remember all that stuff? How do they build all of those things? They're very good builders. I think they are an asset to our team as society. An asset means valuable player on our team. So embrace them, welcome it, accept it. And if you have autism, there is nothing to hold your head in low about. I think you're awesome. You are way better thinkers than me. I have a lot to learn from you. You have a lot to teach this world. You are trendsetters. And I appreciate you. See you all next time, kids. Love and light, boy.